If you've got something to say about this, then please jump in the chat. This might look like a nice pre-recorded video, but I'm here and I want to take your questions.
How are you feeling?
Good, good. Bit warm today, but I'm good. Not done anything like this before. I just tell my truths.
Nothing but.
Nothing but the truth.
So, why don't you just start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Danny Windsor. I work as a brand and marketing manager for Sleeping Giant Media, and we're a search and social media agency based in Folkestone in Kent.
You say that social media is crap. Why do you think that is?
It's a really big question, isn't it? And I guess to answer that, we're going to have to go back to the beginning. So it was a long time ago now. It was the summer of 2017. COVID wasn't a thing. We had no idea it was coming. And I attended an event, and the event was called Nonconference in London, and I was one of the speakers on stage. And at the time, social media was in a position where influencers were kind of giving people a raw deal. Their advice and tips that they were kind of suggesting were crap, in my view. To give some context, this was a time that the girl with the balloon, the Banksy, got shredded at Sotheby's, the auction house. It's also the year that Jodie Whittaker became Doctor Who. So some real landmark things took place in that year, and I think the changes in social media over the last 3 years, I think it's been scary. I think looking back at 2017, social media influencers were all about the kind of vanity metrics, if you like, and they were pumping out hacks and top tips on how to drive engagement and how to increase your following. And if you cast your mind back to 2017, it was that kind of time when it was easy to buy followers. Like you could log on to a website and you could buy yourself 20,000 followers on Facebook or Instagram. And that almost seemed more important than creating genuine content. And it led to this whole kind of market of businesses wanting quick cheats and tips in order to be really successful on social media. And that really irked me. It really kind of got my goat. So I wrote a talk called Cut the Crap, and I turned up in London in 2017 and I delivered it. Now that talk was all about not asking the question, how can I get more engagement, but how can I be more engaging? And I think when you pose a question in two different ways, you get two very different answers. I suppose it's the same as playing the guitar. Like if you want to learn how to play the guitar, you have to practice it, and you have to do it every single day. And you have to watch other people playing the guitar, and you have to listen to music of people playing the guitar. And over time, you learn how to do it, and you become a pro, and before you know it, you're Eric Clapton. So there are no shortcuts, really, was the message I was trying to say. There's no quick wins to be good at something. No cheats, no hacks, no tips. And the reason I took that approach was because of my education background and the kind of experiential learning cycle that we have in learning, where you have to kind of experience something concrete first, and then you can reflect upon that thing. How well did it go? How good am I? How bad am I? And then you normally do something abstract where you conceptualize that and you change it up to make it better, and then you review it. And that whole learning cycle applies to everything we do in life. Learning to play the guitar, drive a car, speak in front of a camera, all those kind of things. So I went there with a message saying, if you dedicate time, if you love what you do, and you watch the content you create, that is how you get more engaging. There's a caveat to that to some degree, that if you don't want to put the hard work in, if you don't want to learn to play the guitar hard enough, then you're not going to put the effort in, and it's the same with social media. So if you don't want to, then don't do it. Just because every other business around you is doing it, doesn't mean you need to. You need to have an intrinsic motivation for using that platform in the first place. And I went there and I was still on that stage and I stood in front of all those 20 people and I said, video is like pizza. When it's bad, it is still pretty good. And my motive there was to encourage people to create more video, because it wasn't like it is now. Nowadays, everyone can make video. back in the day, it was special. It was for those of us that had cameras and skill and talent. So I went there and I introduced them to a load of free apps like Mosho and Clips and CapCut. And this enabled my audience to kind of get into video and to start making quick, light-hearted video content. I never knew it would turn into what it did. So let's bring us back up to speed. And we're in a world now where bad things are happening. We've got political and royal figures being charged and discussed in scandals. We've got hurricanes and forest fires spreading around the world. We've got Brexit and division in this country. But also on the flip side of that, we've got more activism for rights, for trans, for gender, for race. We've got more people thinking sustainable. We've got more people eating vegan diets. We've got more people being conscious about the planet around us. And we've also got a young generation of people that are coming through with a voice.
How dare you?
And if you have a look at the data, because it's kind of what I do as a marketer, you'll see that the term vegan and the term sustainability in the last 2 years have grown massively. And then it came to 2020 and we had so much promise and planned for with our content, with video, with marketing. We were looking forward to getting to the B2B Expo in London and delivering this talk. And COVID hit us. And so what does the world look like now? Well, now we've got local lockdowns. We've got division around the country still. But we've got more movement. So the Black Lives Matters movement and other equal opportunities movements that are gathering momentum and making real change for real people. And we've also got more appreciation of things like our public sector. Like families came out onto their streets and clapped for the NHS. So we looked at the search terms kind of vegan and sustainable. But if we put the search term kindness into Google, a much bigger increase. So suddenly society is becoming kinder. And when society has a motivation and a cause, it's up to us as marketers to make sure our approach is in line with that cause. So that's why I'm here today. I'm going to talk to you about LinkedIn mainly and how a drive for authenticity on LinkedIn means I'm here again saying cut the crap. And if we look at all of the social media platforms we have at our disposal as marketers, 71% of us make sure LinkedIn is part of that ad strategy. But actually, when you look at the usership of those platforms, you'll see LinkedIn has a very small user base compared to Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. So why are 71% of marketers putting our advertising spend into LinkedIn? And the buzzword on content on LinkedIn at the moment are words like genuine, original, actual, bona fide. And essentially what we're trying to boil down to is authentic content. And if we look at what the definition of authentic is in the English dictionary, we see it's undisputed original, and it is not a copy, and it is genuine. So what does that mean for us as marketers on LinkedIn? It begs the question, doesn't it? Are we really, truly just us on social media? So the talk of authenticity on LinkedIn in particular, how authentic can we be when 75% of us as marketers are using that platform to sell our products, to market on? How authentic can we really be? And if you think about yourself on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and on LinkedIn, what percentage of you is really being shown on that platform? Is it 100% of you? Is it just a good side? Is it just a bad side? So if you look at LinkedIn at the moment, there's a load of people with a brand new job title. Never existed 3 years ago when I did the original version of this talk. And that is the LinkedIn guru. And the LinkedIn guru has sprung up in every town, in every city, and it's a problem. It's not just a problem for us. It's a problem for future generations and our planet. So I'm here today to talk to those LinkedIn influencers, those gurus that tell us how we should be being authentic. Tell me how to be authentic and I can be as authentic as you. It's time to cut the crap. Do get involved in chat and let me know how you're using LinkedIn at the moment. Is it just personal or is it business too? A good starting point would be looking at a brief timeline, I suppose, of LinkedIn. So, LinkedIn started very much as a recruitment platform, which obviously led to businesses being on the platform, because we know we're all trying to recruit the best talent. It's a recruitment platform, I can see what CVs are on there. So that's where LinkedIn started. And because LinkedIn and recruitment were very much about people, it quickly led to native video content on the platform. Because you can't have people without videos of people. Suddenly people are the focus again, and we can actually have a personality. We don't have to talk through text and images, we can talk directly to a camera like this. So personal brand becomes a thing. It becomes really important suddenly to have a personal brand and to know what that means for your business. And the only way you can develop a personal brand, if you listen to these gurus, is for you to be authentic. So, how do we plan to be authentic? So 3 years ago, my message was, video is like pizza. Even if it's bad, it's still pretty good. But today my message is very different. And it's this: you can achieve more if you eat less pizza. So we're going to cover off some topics today, some subjects, but mainly my drive today is to talk to you about the different types of content you can be using on LinkedIn to cut through the crap and to shut up the LinkedIn influencers and gurus that are telling you that video is the only way to get reach. Before I came out today to come and do this interview with you guys, I wrote a list. I wrote a list of 99 content types that you could be making before you even get to video. And when you think there are 99 different types of content that you could be making before you get to video, you start thinking there are many more possibilities. So I brought the list with me, if you can pass me my laptop. Thanks, man. So I did this for a couple of reasons. One, to look clever, and second, to show you there is much more to making content than just recording yourself talking to a camera. So we've got content on here like infographics and memes and live chats, articles, case studies, Q&As, content visualizations, webinars, chat shows, app reviews, online magazines, mood boards, maps, stories that I've just launched. On page 2, I've got even more. I've got mind maps, personal bios, illustrations, quotes, PDFs, QR codes, comments, memes, would you rather posts, challenges of the week, outreach and admiration. And then at number 100, I've got video. So when I started in my role and I was looking at how I can make all these different types of content, and I focused on video, I focused on loads of different tools, really quick tools that enabled me as a content maker to be able to make this stuff effectively and quickly. And then as it got successful and I could prove its worth, I was allowed to hire somebody. And then I was allowed to hire another person. And eventually I've got a team built up. So once we've discovered we can cut the crap and stop listening to these influencers and stop just making video content, we can open our minds up to 99 other content types. And give me another 2 hours and I'll write another 99. I can't do that. I haven't got the time for that. So you've got all this content. And now we've got to talk about the platform itself. And why do we use the platform? LinkedIn is a content platform. Is it a content platform? Is it still a recruitment platform? So knowing there are many more content types, I set about a bit of a challenge. I set myself a 90-day target on LinkedIn to more than double my reach following an engagement, not just for me, but for the business that I represent as well. And I did it using all of those content types I've just told you about. So now I'm going to let you in to a little experiment that I did to see what worked and what didn't work on LinkedIn. But be cautious. I am not a LinkedIn guru, and what works for me probably won't work for you. But if it does, then I'm happy for you to send me a check when it does. First thing we did as a business was we dusted off the old company page. For those of you out there that aren't focusing on your business company page on LinkedIn, you need to wake up. It's a business platform, and if businesses aren't on there, it becomes another social media platform. So what we did, we dusted it down and we made sure we put visual content, bright, exciting visual content across our channels. From polls that looked at engaging using the engagement button, to changing the way our blogs look so they look brighter and full of energy. We use polls, infographic, all kinds of different content types. And we pushed that out on our business page. But that isn't all we did. We got our CEO and we aligned his strategy with our strategy. So suddenly we're talking about personal brand and business brand, and we're anchoring them both together. One drives the other, and they both support each other. But it wasn't just the CEO. I got involved. My team got involved. In fact, loads of people from around the business got involved. And this wasn't a, if you don't do this, we won't pay you. If you don't do this, we'll put you on furlough. And we encouraged our giants and our team to get involved on LinkedIn. We gave them advice, we gave them guidance. We started recording their numbers, because if we're not recording the numbers, then what's the point in doing anything? Me, myself, I went on a creative mission to use as many visual content types as I could. And if you look on LinkedIn, you've got the multi-picture galleries where you can scroll through. You've got PDF sliders where you can effortlessly scroll through to the end of a massive document. You've got video, and now we've got stories. So then I focused on me and my personal brand. And I decided that creativity should be my brand. So I pursued every single channel I could to see what worked for me. And I was seeing good growth. I was seeing steady, incremental growth. And if anybody out there varies up their content and posts every single day, they will see a steady growth in reach. It's just how it works. I did loads. I tried to get that curve steeper and steeper. I did long posts, I did short posts, I did funny posts, I even did some insulting posts. I was negative, I was positive. I reached out to some influencers. And then one day I wrote this post that hopefully you can, I'll share it with you after this talk. I wrote this post whilst I was sitting on the lounge floor with my 2-year-old, eating a chocolate brioche, watching Paw Patrol. For those that haven't watched Paw Patrol, it's awesome. You've got Chase and Marshall and all of the others that I can't remember right now. For that moment in my pajamas, sitting on the floor with my 2-year-old, when I wrote that post, changed my world. What it did do was get me 50,000 views on that one post alone. And that jackknifed my exponential growth to a much higher position of growth. And from there, I was able to use consistency to maintain it at a higher level. So my tip to you, and I only really have 3 tips. Know why you're on LinkedIn in the first place. What is the point? Why are you even here? Be consistent. If you post one week and then don't the next week, it's not going to favour you. Some people recommend 2 posts a week, some people recommend 1 post a day. It's really up to you to find what works for you. What works for me is 1 post a day in the morning, and then that's it. If I post again in the afternoon, it takes away the reach from the first post. So constant posting on your personal brand isn't doing your good content any real favours. And last of all, my 3rd piece of advice would be to be varied. You don't know what your audience is going to like. Don't assume they want to watch videos of your face. They probably don't. Be creative, try out some of the platforms. And if you want the list of 99, then, I don't know, get in touch. My other bit of takeaway today, and it's not really a tip, but you can have great gains on your business pages. If you can design content that engages an audience and gives you something we call dwell time, then you'll have much more success with your business pages. So think about that. Create a piece of content that makes somebody sit on it for a period of time. It used to be about getting their attention. Now it's about keeping that attention for as long as you possibly can. Video is great for that, but so are PDF sliders, so are competitions, so are games, so are quotes. So what does the future bring? What does the future bring for LinkedIn? We've seen this progression from recruitment to people, to video, to personal brand, to authenticity. What does it bring next? So the next evolution of LinkedIn is stories, and we've already seen it go live. There are a lot of people struggling to work out what LinkedIn Stories is all about. But ultimately, it's about better visual storytelling. So if you can use the power of your people, the power of your clients, and the power of the history of your business through storytelling, there stands to be some massive gains for businesses on LinkedIn. So don't write it off. Storytelling isn't new. I'm not sitting here today telling you anything you don't know as a marketer already. But when a platform like LinkedIn gives us the opportunity to tell more immersive, engaging stories, we need to take that. The beauty of storytelling is, as a marketer, it gives us a narrative, and a narrative will give us context. And if you're a business, you have much more context than if you're just a personal brand. So cutting through the crap, I guess really why I'm here today is to say, what stories are you going to be telling? And more importantly, why? Thanks so much for watching. Please come and visit us on our virtual stand. Come and find us. We're Sleeping Giant Media. It's a bit of a long name to type, but it's well worth typing in. We specialise in SEO, PPC, content and social media. So essentially we bring more relevant traffic to your website. If that's something you're interested in, reach out on LinkedIn and come and speak to us. See you next year, in flesh, hopefully, in the flesh.